Welcome to this live again. To those of you joining me, to those of you who are new to me, I am Omaka the Light. I am here as the facilitator of tonight's message. Because guess what? I'm the only one here. So if you're here and you see what we're going to be talking about tonight, I've showed you that the reason why tribes work and governments don't, but you need to be here to hear the more important. It's not the title that really is what I'm going to be punching home with you. The title isn't the most important thing that I want you to take away. It's more so what's inside the message, is the message in the message, okay? And I am coming to you in the Ghadbody energy. Now, the Ghadbody energy is the energy where the Ghadbody energy is a phrase or a term that I've created. I'm very creative with a lot of my words. And I take a lot of words that is in the English text and I give them new meaning, because words are casting spells upon us. And so we have to be careful with what we speak, because we cast spells. So I take words and change them and give them new meaning. And so I am here in the Ghadbody energy. The Ghadbody energy, anybody can be. Nobody can be Omaka the Light, but any and everybody can be Ghadbody. And the Ghadbody energy is when you are operating in your most powerful, your truth, but more so your unapologetic truth. It's just speaking how and saying how it needs to be said, saying what needs to be said, speaking it how it comes up, speaking out how it comes up, and delivering for the people. I am here with you because this message is just more important than the messenger. So you need the message, okay? I'm going to take this away. I'm going to take away the screen here so you can get me present with you, and I'll keep popping it back up. But for the meantime, right now, before I do that, donate to the Cash App, the God Obeying. And this is just an old Cash App name that I've had. But anyway, donate to that Cash App. And I'm going to deliver for you. I'm going to deliver. Donate, but I'll deliver. All right. 1, get that out the way. Number 2, I have a retreat coming up. So I want you to join me on this retreat. Let me get this out the way real quick. Peace, God. Peace, everybody. I want you to join me on this retreat September 24th through the 26th in Sedona, Arizona, located in the beautiful, secluded areas of these red rocks, these majestic plates, these tectonic plates, that we will be doing a lot of healing, a lot of gathering ourselves and collecting who we are on these grounds. And whether it be 1 or it be 1,000 of you that come, you're going to leave knowing that you got your money's worth, okay? And that you got what you needed when you came, okay? So, let the record show. September 24th through the 26th. You want to join me on the Ascension Warriors Weekend Retreat. This is the rising of the sun gods and the sun goddesses. This is where you come to embody the God body. You know, you're going to go back home. And you're going to not... Listen, I'm going to tell you this before I get on with this message. When you come to this retreat, and when you go back home, and I'm going to speak how I'm supposed to speak tonight, you're not going to take no more shit. And what I mean by that is, you're going to be fed up with bullshit. You're going to be fed up with the lies you tell yourself. You're going to be fed up with holding yourself back from, or what, because you're waiting on other people to move, and you're waiting on other people to get comfortable with moving. Listen, when you come on this retreat and you come back to this, you're not going to feel the same. You're not going to feel like you belong here. I know we all say, I'm different. I don't belong here. I don't belong in this system. Yeah, but a lot of us say that, but we don't act and we don't move and we don't do anything about it. When you come on this retreat, see, I'm already at that space because I've already I already did a work on myself. And when I got back here, I knew I was out of place. And now I'm doing this so that I can give the opportunity for some of you to join me so that you can embody this God body energy and you can know for a fact, like, yeah, I don't really belong here. I know that I am out of place. I know that it isn't just hyperbole anymore. It's not just talk anymore. It's actually action. And I'm not going to reveal a lot of things right now. I can't do that. But I took a big action moving forward, for myself personally. I took a big action. And I can't reveal because people will just not really for nobody to know. And the thing is this, your moves, the moves that you make, I promise you this, when you embody the God body energy, you're going to be like me. You're going to be ready to do away with all of this, the games that they allow us to play in their system, right? The social media games. I'm doing a video called The Conscious Community Fell Back Asleep. You want to be here for that, okay? But right now, we're talking about why tribes work and governments don't. And I'm just really introducing, walking us into it right now. And so the thing that's happening right now and the space that we're in, space and time that we're in is a lockdown. It's a lockdown, meaning we think that we're locked down, right? When we say we're COVID-19 locked everything down, can't go nowhere, can't go. No, that's not the lock. That's the false. That's the faux, FAUX. That's the faux lockdown. The real lockdown is in your cell biology. That's why in prison they call it cell lockdown. You know what a cell lockdown is? It's when they lock down the cells, when everybody got to go back into their prison cell and they lock the prison down because people got unruly. Because a few inmates, got a little rebellious against the system. They warred against the machine. They raged against the machine. There's a rock band out there called Rage Against the Machine. And their music is about being, rebellious against the machine. The machine is the system, right? So we are here in the God body. I'm here in the God body, and I want you to come with me September 24th through the 26th to Sedona, Arizona, and come in and embody the God body energy. That's why it is the rising of the sun gods and the sun goddesses. We are people of the sun. We are connected to the light. We are connected to the source. The source is the sun. And so today, in this video, I want to talk about natural religion. With the topic of today is why tribes work and governments don't. And so we have to talk about, I'm going to talk about natural religion. I'm going to talk about natural religion and a few other things that's I'm not hitting my mind right now. But the fact of the matter is, we're about to go deep into this, okay? And this is what we need. Natural religion, names, and multiple lifestyles. That's what we're going to cover today. Natural religion, names, and multiple lifestyles, along with this topic. So let's, without further ado, thank you for those who are watching. Today, I am not coming to you to sound like I'm teaching you something. I'm not, I told somebody that I was going to start doing videos again. I had stopped doing videos, like long form videos like this, where it sounds like I'm teaching, and I'm not teaching. I said that I wasn't going to be teaching online anymore because I have websites, I have books, I have manifestos, I have everything you need to learn. If you're serious to learn, I have everything you need to learn. You don't need to see me show up and teach, because the embodiment of the energy that I am no longer needs to teach. It's more about living, and that's why we're here, talking about the sun, the rising of the sun gods and goddesses at this retreat more so. So donate, get to the retreat, September 24th through the 26th. It's not too late. Eco Warriors of Light at Gmail. You can say RSVP me, Eco Warriors of Light, just like it is, just like I'm saying it, at gmail.com, and you can say RSVP me, and I will send you more details. Now, the reason why tribes work and governments don't, I can end the video on this right here alone. I can end the video on this by itself alone. The reason why governments work, governments, yeah. The reason why tribes work and governments don't. Number one, loyalty. Loyalty. Loyalty is the main reason why tribes work and governments don't. I can end the video on that. And you see, I got to tell you something. I practice natural spirituality. What is natural spirituality? Nature is, if you look at my bio, I think it's still there in my bio. Nature is my religion. So we got to talk about natural religion. Nature is my religion. I don't live according to a book, according to a curfew law. I don't live according to some legislative document. I don't live according to these things. I live according to nature. One of my key things is always if it ain't natural, it ain't right. That's just the black and white of that. And if you don't practice that, you are not practicing. Screw holistic. You're not practicing the real way of life. Get holistic out the way. Get it all out the way. If you're not practicing the natural way as your life, this is why I'm talking about natural religion, multiple lifestyles, and names. We're going to talk about names. If you're not talking about nature and the natural way as the way for you and the way for life in itself, then you already don't practice first loyalty to yourself. You do not practice loyalty to yourself. Number one, you must understand that you are a natural being. That whenever you are sick, when your body's raging against itself, when your body's going against itself because you put your cells on lockdown. You put your cell on lockdown. You imprison your cells, meaning you stop allowing your cells to roam free. You know why they tell you free range chicken is better for you than caged chicken? Think about that. Free range chicken, caged chicken. Free range eggs, caged eggs. Think about that now. It's not a hard dichotomy to think about. Free range chickens. If you go in any grocery store and you're looking for any organic chicken or eggs, read the carton. It will tell you free range eggs, not caged. Why would they insinuate that caged eggs are bad for you? Because when you lock down any type of organism, any type of living organism, when you put it in a space where it is no longer feeling the sense of freedom, then you put the cells on lockdown, and thus you sent the cells into a dormant state. That's why I got to do this other video about conscious community going back to sleep. So now the cells go back into a dormant state. Basically, you're putting them to sleep. You're You're rendering them of no use. This is why the prison complex is huge in America. You're rendering your cells. This is why putting us on lockdown during the pandemic is crucial. Because if you don't have access, see, they want to cut off. See, they can't imprison everybody in prison. So they imprison you in your home. That was all part of the plan. They can't imprison you in, they can't take everybody and lock us all up. They can't put us all in a cell on lockdown, but they can't put our cells on lockdown. I swear to God, I'm ready to cut this video off if y'all don't think if y'all don't think I'm hitting y'all hard tonight. If y'all don't think that where I'm coming from ain't hard, I'm ready to just turn the video off and stop talking. Because put some hearts in the building. Put some hearts up there now. Let me know that what I'm saying is hitting home. Let me see the hearts. Let me see something. Show me some hearts. Show me some signs that this video is hitting hard. Put the hearts in the building right now. Straight up, because I'm coming with fire right now. And I know this. I'm coming with fire. And so when they tell you we got to go back on lockdown, they cannot put everybody in prison to put us in a cell on lockdown. And so they tell us to stay inside in our homes to put our cells on lockdown. And therefore, what they did or what they're doing and trying to do is put our cells to sleep, to put us in a dormant state. And what happens? The saying goes, if you don't use it, you lose it. What happens when whatever happens, you ever seen anybody come out of a coma? When you witness a person coming out of a coma, they're very disoriented and lethargic. They're very disoriented. More so, their mind is not there yet. Even out of a deep sleep. You ever wake up very fast out of your sleep? You wake up and you fall. You know what I'm saying? You ever wake up out of your sleep very fast and you try to hit the ground? You know why that happens, beloved? Because your consciousness, your being, your conscious is telling you to wake up. But your conscious being has not entered the physical vessel yet. And so the mind tells the body to wake up. You late for work. Wake up. You got to go get the kids. Wake up. You got to go do this. Wake up. And so the mind is speaking while you're sleeping. The mind is still speaking. You understand? Telling the body to wake up. The body jumps up. The body jumps up. But when you jump out of the bed, you end up falling on the ground or your knees buckle or something like that happens because the consciousness is not in the body yet. You understand? The consciousness is not there. You're not inhabiting the being yet. So most times we've all woken up very fast, and when we woke up, we tried to grab something. I've done this many a times. I woke up very fast, like, oh, I'm late. Oh, I got to get here. Oh, and now I'll grab my phone and drop my phone. What this has to do with what I'm talking about? Everything. What I'm trying to tell you is this, beloved. When your cells are on lockdown, then your consciousness no longer speaks to you. And so the way to keep your consciousness, your cells speaking to you, to the way, that's why I tell you about the 5 internal senses of the being: spiritual, mental, emotional, physiological, biological. The main important one right now today I'm speaking about is the biology. And then, so when your cells are dormant, on lockdown, you can no longer speak to your being. You no longer can talk. You no longer can compute and communicate to yourself, not just into the vessel, but to your being. In the way that you cut your cells off, the way you put your cells on lockdown, some of you do this without them having to tell you to put your cells on lockdown. Some of you do this without them having to tell you to go inside and stay on lockdown. Some of you do this when you wear a pound of makeup on your face. This is the rising of the sun gods and goddesses era right now. This is the rising of the sun gods and goddesses era. What does that mean? That means this is the rising of us going back to the natural source of energy and of life. We are going back to the natural source of energy and of life. Period. Our sun. And so when we go, we're going to get imputed with the knowledge of truth about self. And so this, beloved, is where your cells and your genes are activated. This is activating the dormant cells. And so if you begin to stop wearing the pound of makeup, stop covering up your fingernails, and stop putting on, I try to wear as less clothing as I can. I try to wear as less clothing as I possibly can. Why is that? I wear this to keep my crown covered because there's a lot of energy out there. So you got to keep your crown covered. Especially if you got locks. Especially if you got hair. Your hair's receiving energy. That's another topic for another day. We'll save it. But I try to wear as less clothing as I possibly can because I want my body to absorb everything that it's supposed to absorb from the natural source that I'm supposed to get it from. And so, going back to why tribes work and governments don't. Here's why. Number one, it gets deeper than just this too. Number one, because there is no loyalty. There's no loyalty in government. And the reason why you fall victim to the government in their ways is because you've not put your trust into nature, and therefore you have no loyalty to yourself. But that's okay. You got people like me here to wake you up. And that's where we're at today, right? To help you continue down this journey of staying woke within your being. And so the sun is going to activate the genes. The sun is going to activate the dormant cells. The sun is going to wake us up. In other languages, the sun is called the soul, S-O-L. Soul. And so the sun is our soul, and the sun is light, and light is within us because it's the soul. The sun is the soul, and the light is the soul, and the sun is light. And we get the sun within us, we get the light within our soul. And our soul becomes lit. And that's why I am Omaka the light. And I am a light bearer, meaning I carry the light within me. And that means that my light will never be dim because I know the source in which it comes from. Not just the sun, but it comes from the natural way, the natural world. And nature is my religion. Nature is my religion. I get my information and my downloads and my ingredients and my recipes and my food and my nourishment from nature. All around me in my environment. And so therefore, I have loyalty to myself. That's why I told my youngest daughter, my oldest daughter today. My oldest daughter, she'll be 18. And my oldest daughter is having some of the same problems my youngest daughter is having with her skin. You understand? My youngest daughter is having a little, problems with her skin. And I told my oldest daughter, she's about to be 18. I said, listen. I said, look at your dad. My oldest daughter is having the same skin problem. And I know where it come from. I know exactly where it come from. I can fix it in my young daughter because my young daughter, you know, my oldest daughter, she's on her own, basically. She has to do it herself. But my young daughter, I can help fix that. But I can definitely help both. But the point I'm making here is this. I told my oldest daughter, I said, look at your pops, look at your dad. I said, I'm almost 40. I'm never afraid to tell y'all my age, though. Because I know it don't matter, you know. But I'll be 40 in 2 years. I said, look at your dad. I said, do you see any of that on me? Do you see any of that? Do you see any spots? Do you see any blemishes? Do you see any of that? Why is that? Because I know within my genes are awakened. My cells stay alive because I tell them who I am. I speak to my internal being. I speak to my biology. I speak to my physiology. I speak to my being. That's why the 5 internal senses are the 5 internal states of well-being. If you want to be a well-being, tap into the 5 internal senses. Your spirit, your mental, your emotional, your physiological, biological. When you start speaking to these parts of yourself, you will become a well-being. Okay? And this is what keeps me looking like a very well-being. And people think I'm still in my 20s. I find it odd because, you know, I don't care what you think. If you think I'm in my 20s or not, I find it kind of like weird. Like I'm still getting, you know, thought of for being like 29, 28, 27. I'm like, no. I said, do I not even look 20? Do I not even look 30, 31, 32 at least? Nah. They'd be like, you're late. I thought you was like 27, 28, 29. I'm like, come on, bro. For real. But yeah, the point I'm making here is this. I don't want to get off topic too much. I said to my little girls, both of them, I said, look at your pops. He's 40 years old. But I can fix my young daughter. But my oldest one, I got to, you know, I'll give her this stuff, but she has to apply, you know. And I told her, I said, your pop is almost 40, but let me tell you something. Look what's happening to your dad. Your dad is aging backwards. And the reason why is that it's because when you go out into nature, the ocean is old as hell. The ocean is old as hell. But you can go to Montego, you can go to the tropics in Costa Rica, and the water looks beautiful. You can go to anywhere in the tropical world, you know, and you will see beautiful, pristine, clear-looking blue water, almost look like it's brand new. Look like it's been here, just look like it got here yesterday. Look like it dropped somewhere out of the sky. It just looks that way. Water is old as hell. There's trees all over this planet that are old as hell, but got girth, strong, firm. You look at me, strong, firm looking, planted, because I'm rooted in my religion. My religion is nature. I'm rooted in my beliefs. And because of that, what does that have to do with tribes and governments? Because if you go back to look at the tribes of East Africa, West Africa, you go back and look at the tribes of the Amazon. If you go back and look at the tribes of Central and South America, you go back and look at the Polynesian and the Norwegian tribes, the what are them people called? The Aboriginal tribes. If you go back and look at some of these tribes, they will show you. We think because they're not able to comprehend our language, they don't understand this world, we think that they're dumb. We place a label on them. And we think that they're idiots or dumb or stupid, but these people are probably more smarter, intelligent. I would say intelligent. They're probably more intelligent than any one species like myself and others that speak like this and live in the modern world, they're probably more intelligent than us. And I won't even say probably, I will say they're more intelligent than us. Because they have not lost their loyalty to themselves. They've not lost their loyalty. And number one loyalty to yourself is to stay connected to who you naturally are. It's to stay connected to who you naturally are. You must stay connected to who you naturally are. And if you do that, you will age backwards. But more than just age. This ain't about age. But this is about age. But let me tell you what I mean by that. This is not about age, the number that you are when you say I'm 25, I'm 36, I'm 47. This is not about that age. But it's about a timeless, ancient tradition, an age, an era. This is about an era of life that will always exist. That's why you can look at the tribes that still exist today. They're still in the same time they were in since the beginning of it. We are the ones who are morphing and changing and aging, dying, aging. But they live in an age that doesn't age. And so they don't age. They live in an age that doesn't age, and so they don't age. But we live in an age where we count, and simply because we count, we're dying. When we count our age, I'm this, I'm that. We're actually putting a certificate of death on ourselves. You can go and ask these people, these uncontacted tribes, what day they were born. They probably couldn't tell you. What time they were born, they couldn't tell you. And what's their birthday, and they couldn't tell you. But they will celebrate the return of that energy. They will celebrate the return of that being inhabiting that vessel, because they'll know it. How will they know it? Will it be because of a month, of a date, and of a year? Absolutely not. It will be because they are tapped into the seasons. They're tapped into the seasons and the energy. They don't celebrate someone's birthday by day. They celebrate someone's birthday or arrival on earth by season. And so a young man in a tribe who is preparing himself to go through the rites of passage, the family, the men of that tribe are not just preparing him the day before his birthday or on his birthday. They're preparing him the whole season. They're saying, look, this is the season. This is hunting season. This is learning season. This is that season. This is the season where you become a man. And they're seasoning him that whole season. They're seasoning him that whole time. It's not a day. It's not a day before. It's a season of it. And so they're seasoning him, grooming him to prepare for the way, more so the natural way, to carry through his cells, so that he's passing that on to his offspring. And and he would train his sons in due seasons, and they will put that in their cells and pass that on to their sons. And so what's going to happen on a constant and continual basis is that there will be a continuation in a tribe where there will be seasons of growth, seasons of birth, seasons of manhood, and young men coming into their full self. And that young man, when he make that transition into who he is or to become, he will do that for a season. And so therefore, his education doesn't come with a birthday and what grade he's supposed to be in around that time and age. It don't come with, okay, you're 10 years old, you're supposed to be in the 4th grade by now or the 5th grade by, so let's get you. No, it doesn't come with that. It comes with a season. And listen to me. In that season, he can learn more than what you do in a lifetime. Why? Because he's not just getting his information. He's not just receiving information. He's imputing. he's imputing information into his cellular being. Into his cellular being. What do these cell phones do? This is a cell phone. What do these cell phones do? They store data. These little cell phones sell. Why is it called a cell phone? Cell. To store. It's a cell. Your cells are storing data. Your cells are storing data. Memory. And so that young man, this thing is smarter than almost everybody. Why? Because with this little device, can you go on here and search for things, spell things you didn't know how to spell, search for things you didn't know where to find it at? This thing can do all the work you needed to do, rendering you a dummy. Let's say it again. When you use these things, what happens? Your cells go to sleep because now you're depending on an external cell. You're depending on an external cell. So now your cells go to sleep. And when your cells go to sleep, beloved, because you're not using them, you're not using your mind to spell what you're trying to spell. You're picking up the phone and you're doing all of your research here and it's doing all of the work for you. So therefore, because it's doing all of the work for you, nothing is stored. This happens to me all the time where, well, I won't say me. I won't even put me in this category. But none of us, there used to be a time where, I need to get some water. There used to be a time where we can remember people's phone numbers. We no longer have to remember phone numbers anymore. Why is that? Because this cell remembers everything for you. Therefore, your cells, since you don't use it no more to remember numbers, you put your cells to sleep. You locked your cells down. Cell lockdown. There's no loyalty. This is why governments don't work. Why don't governments work? Because it's working against you. It works against you. It has no loyalty to self. Therefore, it's teaching you to not have loyalty to you. This is why tribes do work. Because tribes are teaching their men, and mothers are teaching the same thing with the mothers, are grooming their daughters to be virtuous women. Women who are respectful of themselves. Now watch this. You think wearing clothes is a woman being respectful, but in indigenous tribes and ancient, not even ancient, but in indigenous tribes around the world, they ain't wearing no clothes. Because they don't see nakedness as a thing that we see it as. We see nakedness. But they don't see nakedness. Because that's the way nature is. Everything in nature is naked. You see a bird in its nakedness. You don't pluck its feathers to say it's naked. No, a bird with feathers is naked. A lion with fur is naked. That's a naked animal. You're seeing everything in its nakedness. We're the only ones that don't walk around in nakedness anymore. And therefore, and the reason for that is we've gotten programmed that way. But more importantly, we've lost contact with ourselves. So we depend on something else to store that contact. So this holds all of the contacts, all of the connection. This remembers everything for us. This has everything stored in it, all the data. Your cells no longer hold any data or memory of who you once were. But nature can bring you back to that source, that place. Nature can bring you back there and allow you to not say, let's say, go run around naked. Okay, cool. You're not going to go run around naked. I'm not telling you to do that. But I am telling you this. I'm telling you this much. Let me show you a picture real quick. Give me a second. This is me. And suffice to say, this is the real me. This is who I know that I am. And that's why I told you this is the God body energy. The God body energy no longer wants to wear clothes. The God body energy will no longer want to fit into their system. The God body energy will no longer desire any taste for the way this world operates in its state right now. The God body energy. And underneath here, the truth of the matter is this. The truth of the matter is this. What you see right there, I'm naked. Not saying what's underneath it, but that's nakedness right there. Even with the cloth on, that's pure nakedness. You are seeing me in my rawest form. You are seeing me at my truest state. That's nakedness. I don't have to take that cloth off for you to see my... I don't have to take that cloth off for you to see my bare body. One second. One second. Okay? I don't have to take that cloth off for you to see my bare body. I gotta get something happening here. I gotta do something real quick. Okay. 1 second. All right. So. All right. All right. I got somebody calling me and they won't stop calling me. They keep pausing my video. Okay, so let me get back to the task at hand. So I keep getting a call and it's blocking my video. It's stopping my video from. So getting back to the point I was making, sorry about that distraction, is that we are in a... I should have put my phone on this. On no disturbance. So basically what I was saying is, this is me in my nakedness. And so the reason why tribes work and governments don't is because governments are forgetting you. Let me say that again. Governments are forgetting you. You need to hear that backwards, not the way I actually said it. Governments are forgetting you. They are making you forget who you are. They're making you forget you. They're not giving to you more of who you are. They're taking away who you are. And so, as I was saying, a bird or a lion or a dog, the way you see them, that's them in their nakedness. And so what tribes do, what a tribe is all about, what a tribe is all about is about a natural way. So we're talking about a lifestyle. That's why I said we're going to talk about lifestyle. We're going to talk about all types of things that has to do with being with a tribe, choosing tribe over government, right? So we're talking natural religion, names in different not different tribe, but tribes, multiple lifestyles. And so when we talk about multiple lifestyles, we're talking about the matrix and the way of life that comes with that. That's why you got to be here for my other video I'm going to be doing, the conscious community fell back asleep. And I'm not just talking about the black conscious community. I'm talking about the conscious community, period. Anyone who considers themselves a conscious being. The conscious community has fell back asleep. And I'm not going to talk about that video today. But the fact is this, is that you've allowed yourself to buy into a lifestyle that you think is the lifestyle, but that's not the lifestyle. As I was saying earlier, when you look at the ocean, it's old as hell, but look at how fresh and young and how it keeps renewing you. See, the ocean is constantly renewing your energy, renewing who you are. You go to any place in nature, it's going to be a renewable source of energy. Why do you think it's called renewable energy? Renewable energy. They're talking about nature. Nature is renewable energy. Nature is renewable energy. It's never old. And so when you are living as the tribe, when you're living tribal minded, I'm not talking about an indigenous way, like the old tribes of East and West Africa. I'm not talking about like that. But what I'm saying is, if we get back to choosing tribe, then we get back to first loyalty, then we get back to way of life. We get back to way of life. Now, the way of life when it comes to a tribe is more loyalty, and it's more commitment to each other. Loyalty to yourself is what I said. I didn't say to each other. I said to yourself. I said because you are living the lifestyle that the world that you're living in is saying this is the way to live. This is the lifestyle. Because you're choosing to live that type of lifestyle. Because you're choosing to live that type of lifestyle. You're not being loyal to yourself. Governments don't have loyalty to themselves. And because you follow everything they say and everything they do and you move how they move and all of this stuff. And I'm not talking about you here. I'm talking in general. And because this is our lifestyle. Well, not my lifestyle, but this is what's governing the world right now. This is the authority that's governing the world. And because this is the authority that's governing the world, it has no loyalty to itself. It doesn't even know that it doesn't even know that they're natural beings. But the fact of the matter is they're not. They're not natural beings. They're not natural beings. They're mutations. They're not natural. Because something natural would not destroy. I call them cancer cells. They are cancer cells. Because something natural would not destroy its own life. And so you can see a tree sitting on the bank of a river thriving. A tree that sits on the bank of a river thrives. Why? Because it's getting its source of energy from something else natural like itself. And so when something natural is feeding into something natural, longevity is the key word here. Longevity. We used to live to 600 some years old, 700 years old, 1,000 years old. This body never died. Why? Because we've gotten dumbed down. And so now the dumber we get, the more dumbed down we get, the more we add more we add less and less time to this existence. The more dumbed down we get, the shorter the lifespan. I'm back. Y'all there? Show me some hearts. I'm back. Keep getting interrupted by a phone call. I have to put that ass on block. And so, yeah. So, let me keep going. Okay? Let me keep this thing going. All right? Show me some hearts. Y'all in the building? Show me some hearts. Show me some hearts so y'all in the building so I keep going. Hey to everybody that joined the live. We in the building? Okay, I'm going to keep going then. And so, why governments don't work is because there's no loyalty. But the reason why governments don't work, simply, yes, is because there's no loyalty, but because they're not natural beings. They're not practicing anything that goes against its own nature. It's not natural. That's why I said if it's not nature, it's not righteous. If it's not nature, it's not right. If it's not natural, it's not right. If it's not natural, it's poison. If it's not natural, it goes against. If it's not anything not natural, it goes against. Anything not natural goes against. And so what we're here to do is have a loyalty to ourselves first. So we must have a loyalty to ourselves, and that is we must do everything, practice everything, have a lifestyle that is, number one, natural. Always going back to the natural way, choosing nature, choosing our way, the natural way. The retreat is going to help do that. The retreat is bigger. The retreat is good, but it's bigger than the retreat. It's bigger than the retreat. It's not about just the retreat. It's about you understanding the natural way is the only way. It's the only way. It's the way that we exist in this world. And the more and more we disconnect from our natural way, the more and more we are quickening, speeding up the process of non-existing in this vessel. And so we got to go back to the natural way first. And so we got to have loyalty to do that to ourselves and say, I'm going to be loyal to myself first. Therefore, I am not going to go against I know who I am, so I'm loyal to that. I'm not going to go against myself. I'm not going to go against that. You dig? And then we got to have commitment to each other. And so in the tribe, they have loyalty to themselves. And it's easy for them to have loyalty to themselves because it's not an effort. It's no work involved to do that. They already know what they're supposed to do. They wake up knowing what they're supposed to do. They wake up knowing what they are supposed to do, how they're supposed to exist, the way they're supposed to live. They wake up knowing this already. And they immediately snap into it and go to that work. They have commitment to each other next. And thus, from that point on, they jump in. Full head of steam. They jump in. Pew. And they say, this is who I am. I am you. You are me. So, because I see you as me and I have loyalty to myself, therefore, I automatically have loyalty to you. And because I have loyalty to you, therefore, I am also going to have commitment to you because my loyalty to myself means I'm committed to who I am. Therefore, if I see you as myself, then I also have loyalty towards you. So therefore, I'm committed to you. I'm committed to your well-being. And also, I'm committed to you not stepping out of tune with your well-being. And so therefore, whenever, this is why tribes are better than governments. Whenever I see you, and this is rarely going to happen in a tribe. Whenever I see you today's modern era tribes, it may happen. But ancient times of the past, this don't happen. Uncontacted tribes that are still existing today, this don't happen. Where when one gets out of sorts with themselves or gets out of order with who they are, that rarely happens. But when it do happen, when it happens, when one gets out of sorts or gets out of their mind, when they literally get out of their mind, when they're no longer here and tuned into their internal self, when they're no longer in tune with their internal self, their mental state, when they're literally having a mental breakdown, you understand? Then because I'm loyal to me and I'm loyal to myself, because I'm loyal to myself and I have commitment to that, and you are a part of me, I see you as me, I have loyalty to you. So therefore, I have commitment to you as well. And it's without effort. It's without thinking. It's without trying. It's without, putting these things in place. I'm not going to help them. I don't know that person. No. When your brother and sister in the tribe is not feeling well or not doing well or not doing good or not treating themselves as they're supposed to be treating themselves, you have a commitment to them to therefore nurture and nourish and feed them the very same thing, data that you have. That's why these cell phones, you and I both, that's why we can have a conversation right now. Because your cell phone, this cell phone is connected to your cell phone right now. And it's having a data exchange. Right? These two cells are having a data exchange. It's connected through what? Some invisible man in the sky called God? No, it's connected through a cell tower. We have a cell tower called the sun. Our cell tower is the sun. That's how we connect. When I connect to my natural source, my natural self, and you connect to your natural source, your natural self, we become these two cell phones that is connecting me through my phone to you, to your phone, which is connecting through, these two phones are connecting through a higher source. What's the higher source? A cell tower. We can go higher than that. A satellite. It's connected through a satellite. You understand? And so this satellite, beloved, is what's connecting our two phones, exchanging the data. These two cells. And so when we are loyal to ourselves, we have a commitment to our brother, our sister in the tribe. And therefore, whenever my brother is having a mental breakdown, he's out of his mind, then I come and exchange data with him. His batteries is low. He needs to be charged up. So I come and I charge him up. So he's not down. He's not weak. He doesn't have... So, listen, tribes are better than governments. Why? Because it is through the connection that we stay up. It is through the connection that we stay charged. But the moment we have a mental breakdown is because we gotten alone. We got into ourselves. We gotten by ourselves. We gotten on cell lockdown. We've gotten on cell lockdown. The moment we start to have mental breakdowns, emotional breakdowns, is because we're starting to have cell lockdown. We start to get isolated. In the jail cell, you're in the cell by yourself, right? Most of the time. And so we're having a cell lockdown moment, meaning we're on lockdown and the information is no longer imputing to the psychological mind, telling us and reminding us who we are. And so that brother or that sister battery is low. And so they need connection. And so what does the government do? What's the main objective of the government? To 6 feet distance us, disconnect us, social distance us. The main object of the government is to distance us, separate us, get us alone, so that we have mental breakdowns, because They understand the study that when you have mental breakdowns, you start making irrational decisions. People who are having mental breakdowns begin to have irrational decision making. They start to make irrational decisions. And this is why it's important to tribe up. Why? Because when I see you having a mental breakdown, I'm going to come over and charge you up, and you're going to be, and we're connected. And this is why in tribes, they keep their tribe sacred. Not, if you're not of this bloodline, you're not getting in. If you're not of this bloodline, you're not getting in. If you can't be a random stranger talking about, can you join this tribe? If you're not of this bloodline, and let's just be even more 100 about this. If you're not even about creating, bonding to make a strong bloodline, you can't even get in on the start of making a tribe. Why is that? Because the bloodline of the people have the same thinking. The same cellular data information is imputed. The same cellular data information is stored away in everyone in that tribe. The same cellular data information. See, I can program you with my data, but I first got to deprogram you of old data. I got to deprogram you. And so governments don't, tribes work, governments don't. Because the role of the government, the objective of the government is to 6 feet us, social distance us, keep us separate. When tribes, they are more connected, gathered together. They're more like this. They're more like this. They're more saying to themselves, this is growth. Growth is social connection. Growth is social interaction. Growth is affection and love and touching. This is growth. This is growth. And so because we have a tribe, I tell you about my religion here. This is my religion. You seen this before? Some of you got this shirt. You see it here. My religion is tattooed on me. And I wear it on my shirt. A lot of you got this shirt. This is my religion. Okay? This is what I practice. Okay? That's the knowledge of my tribe. That's the knowledge of the people that get the knowledge that I live is that knowledge that you see here and here. And that's the knowledge of truth, of self-love, and of commitment to one's belief. Commitment to one's belief. So we're here, caught up in this whirlwind of a system we live in right now. And we're catching ourselves living like the unnatural enemy, the unnatural beings, the enemy. The cancer cell. We find ourselves living like the cancer cell. The cancer cell cannot tell the good cells what to do. It can't. You're a cancer cell. You only have one role, and that is to destroy, eat away, deteriorate. You only have one role, and your one role is to deteriorate, to tear down, to destroy. So how can your government be trusted? How can you trust your government, let alone, you may say, well, they don't have my loyalty. But when you follow every little thing they say do, they got your loyalty. When they tell you to go get vaccine, they got your loyalty. When they tell you you cannot do this or do that, or you can't go here or go there, they got your loyalty. And so in prison, you see a few inmates causing riots. And so they put the whole prison on cell lockdown. Lock the cells up. We got a few rebellious ones here. And the rebellious ones are those who just won't deal with the system. They're not here to deal with the system. They're not here to live by the system. They're not here to live by the system. Even while in prison, they're not here to live by this. They're saying, look, I was living against the system out there, and I'm gonna live against the system in prison. I'm never going to adhere to living with this. I'm not going to give the system my loyalty. They're unruly out here, and they're unruly behind bars. And so they put the whole prison on cellular lockdown, cell lockdown. Isolate the cells again. And so they're isolating cells. When they 6 feet us, when they social distance us, they're isolating cells. Stay in your house, stay indoors, shut everything down. That's called isolation. They can't put all of us in prison. So the only way they can isolate us is to keep us separate. And they understand that connecting us connecting is healing. Us connecting is us communicating. Us connecting is us tribing up, coming together to build a tribe. Us connecting is us coming together to build a sacred tribe. And they don't want that. They can't have that. They don't want to do that. Because doing that, beloved, doing that is going to destroy everything they built. When we come together, when groups of us come together and say, let's go and start our own sovereign society. Let's go start our own sovereign society. Be independent of the system. Let's go start our own sovereign society and be independent of the system. And build trust and loyalty and commitment to one another. Let's go do that. No, they don't want us getting together so that we can think like that and do that. And they don't want us to get together to do that. That's why 6 feet is here. Social distance is here. No, we don't want that. We can't have that. No. We cannot have y'all coming together, tribing up. Trust me. Mark my words. Mark my words when I tell you this. Write this down. And then mark my words. Write this down. They're going to not only tell us stay 6 feet apart. They're actually going to tell us that we can no longer congregate in large groups or even groups of 5 or 6. They're not, you know why? I'm telling you this is coming. It's coming as sure as I'm sitting here. We will not be able to congregate in large groups. Why? They have to dismantle any armor that may raise up against them, any weapon that may be formed against them. They have to dismantle any weapon before it can be formed against them. And the way they dismantle the weapon is by legislating the gathering of groups by the numbers, by 6 or 7 or 8 or 10. Because you can mess around. Anybody can mess around and start a mercenary group. Anybody can, start, an organization and become mercenaries. And you become basically your own, you can start your own little mini army of mercenaries and begin to wreak havoc for the government. And they fear little things like that. They fear mercenary groups all around this country rising up in large numbers to outnumber their military. They don't want anything outnumbering their military, because the military is their weapon. And so they use the military on us in other countries. They use the National Guard on us, the military on other countries. That's their tribe. That's their tribe. Their army is their tribe. And so they use military as a weapon. National Guard as a weapon. And then they take everything that we could possibly do together. They dismantle it. So they'll legislate in every state of this country and even more countries. They're going to legislate that we can no longer gather in groups of 25 or 35 or 45, because you mess around and start a mercenary group, then you're going to have many mercenary groups coming up. They don't want that. They don't want people by the thousands tribing coming together. They don't want people by the 100,000s coming together, because you can mess around and outnumber people. They're military, and they know how the monkey see, monkey do thing works. If we start to see one organization rising up, then you're going to see another organization rising up, and another organization of people rising up, and another organization of people rising up. They understand that that's how things work. Trends work like that. One person does it, then next thing you know, everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. So what we have to do is understand that tribes work, governments don't. Governments don't work. Because governments are, number one, going against themselves. And the only thing that can go against itself is a cancer cell. A cancer cell inside of a body does not agree with the body. A cancer cell inside of a body will never agree with the body. It will never agree. So I call them cancer cells, because they're killing off the natural way, the natural planet, natural life. They are the cancer cells. The cancer cells of society are killing the natural way. And what does a cancer cell does to the body? It creates havoc. It creates havoc. It tells other cancer cells, because cancer cells communicate to cancer cells, but they can't communicate to white cells and red cells. They only eat and destroy. Once a cancer cell locks on to a red cell or white cell, it doesn't communicate to that cell. It just eats that cell. It just eats it. Destroys it, obliterates it. And so when your cells are on lockdown, you are no longer storing data. So we lean on cell phones to store data, to remember everything for us. We depend on cellular phones to remember everything for us. So these are the cell phones. No longer is the memory stored in your cells. The memory is stored here. You save all your pictures. You save all your stories. You save all your memories. Everything is stored here in this cellular phone. These cell phones become cell blocks, like literally cell blocks, prison cells, because they got us locked into them all day. We're locked into them all day, and we're not getting anywhere. We're not making no progress. So even the cell phones are locking us up. Tribes work. Governments don't. And the reason why tribes work is because of loyalty to oneself and then commitment to the others. They're committed. They're loyal to themselves, so therefore they're committed. And because they're committed to themselves, they're going to see a brother or a sister that may be literally out of their mind, and they're going to go over there and they're going to correct that being. Because when they look at their brother, they're looking at themselves. They're saying, yo, you can mess around and destroy all of us. So you know what they do in real tribes? You know what they do? Whenever someone is losing their mind, out of their mind, what do you think they do? What do you think has to be done? When you can no longer bring him back into the state of mind where everybody else is, when you can no longer save him and bring him back into the state of mind where everybody else is, what do you think they do with that member? They kill him. It's an honorable way to go. It's an honorable way to go. Why is it an honorable way to go? Because you die and you understand that in this tribe, that's what happens. In this tribe, we die when we can no longer continue the custom. They understand that their potential of losing their life when they can no longer uphold the customs of that tribe, when they're being a cancer cell. And so it's an honorable death to die because they rather understand that the tribe in generations and his children's children, that way of life, that lifestyle is more important to keep carrying on than them spending time trying to save him, save his mind, and bring him back in the state of mind where everybody else is after day 55 of trying to bring him back. And they don't even wait that long. After about 2 or 3 days, if you have not returned, you are a danger to the tribe, and we must take you out. And that being understands that. And he would rather go that way, understanding that at least I didn't, create, cause treason against my tribe and go out and give up my tribe's position to the enemy. At least I went out. I lost my mind here. I couldn't get it back. And they took me out for it. But at least I didn't sell out and go and give up the spot of my tribe. I didn't have to go and tell other tribes, hey, my tribe is over here. They're plotting to, come over there or pass through here. Go look at the movie Apocalypto. Good movie. You remember in Black Panther when they was fighting? There was a lot of fight scenes. You remember in Black Panther when the one dude took Killmonger's side and he showed up on a rhino and it was Killmonger versus Black Panther and the tribe was warring against itself and the guy showed up on a rhino, jumped off the rhino, and he said to his queen, he said, "You would kill me, my love?" Because he was fighting for Killmonger, the queen was fighting for Wakanda. And he jumped off the rhino because he was sided with Killmonger. And he came across his girl, his queen, his love. And he asked his love, "Would you kill me, my queen?" And she said, for Wakanda without question. For Wakanda without question. Because that's the custom. You die, you're willing to kill one of your own for the greater good of the lifestyle, the custom, the way of life. You're willing to kill one of your own to keep that way of life upholding, to keep that way of life standing, to keep that way of life thriving. You don't become Bonnie and Clyde and say, "You know what? I love you, my king. I'm going to definitely, I side with you." And then all of a sudden decide to tear down everything that was built thousands and thousands of years of ancestral work. Nuh-uh. This Wakanda's bigger than you. And I will kill you for Wakanda. And this is how it is in any tribe. In any tribe, they will kill you if they feel like your mind is slipping. You are no longer able to uphold and upkeep the lifestyle. Why is that? Because I told you we're going to talk about the lifestyle. We're doing that now, talking about the customs, the way that you must go out. And if you don't go out, but the way you must keep the lifestyle alive. You understand? We talk about the customs. We talk about not the customs, but the lifestyle. Okay? The names. And we talked about natural religion in the beginning. But the names. This is why the names are important. This is why names are important. Because your name is not only just tied to you. Your name is not only, that's why your name, your last name is more important than your first name. Because your last name is the name of the tribe. You don't have a last name per se, a name. You have Shaka Zulu, the Zulu tribe. You have Shaka, and you have Zulu tribe. You don't have Shaka and some last name, the Zulu tribe. No, you have Shaka Zulu. This is the Zulu tribe. Your first name is your given spiritual ancestral name, and that's your only name. You see, if you watch the movie Apocalypto, the guy name was Jaguar Paw. Jaguar Paw was his name. It's important. It's important. Names are important. And the reason why government tribes work, let me put that back up for y'all. The reason why tribes work and governments don't is because you answer. Number one, you answering to the majority of, especially black people. Majority of us is answering to a slave name, which is a second-hand name. Not even second-hand, I would say a fourth-hand name. And then we start to answer to, then we begin to answer to our first, second, and last name. First of all, we're answering to the slave name. And then we start answering to our first name and our middle name. And we answer to these names. But the most important name is not the name that, it's not the name that you've been given at birth by your mom and dad in the modern era. The name that you wear on your birth certificate, that name is not the most important name. Now, today, we have a lot of people consciously naming their children. A lot of, consciously naming their children. But more importantly than that, consciously name your children, what's more important is the name you're called, because you're not calling on a name, you're calling on an energy. And when you call on that energy, beloved, you are calling on that tribe. How do they know you everywhere you go around the world? They know who you are by your last name. They can tell if you're an American. They can tell if you're an African. They can tell if you're an Asian. They can tell if you're Hawaiian. They can tell if you're Latino. If your name is Gonzalez and your last name is Rodriguez and your last name is Melendez, they can tell, oh, you're either from here or here, but we know that you are this. So your first name is not the most important name. I'm sorry. Your last name is not the most important name. Your last name is not the most important name. I gotta put this on real quick. Your last name is not the most important name. I'm seeing comments that I can't read because the comments are too slow. Too small. Your last name is not the most important name. The most important name is your spirit name. Your spirit name is most important. So in tribes, they give them names of the natural world. Jaguar paw. They give them names of the natural world. Because they're invoking in you when they speak on your name and energy. And then when they call you Jaguar paw of the Zulu tribe, they are calling not only on your energy, but they are calling on a force. So they call on my name, and then when they say my last name, when they call on my name, they're calling on my spirit. They're summoning my spirit. And when they call on my last name, they're summoning my tribe. They're summoning my family energy. They're summoning all of that powerful energy with me. So when they call on my last name, they're calling on hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people that bear witness of that tribe. They're calling on thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that bear witness of me, that back me up, that I'm with this tribe. And so I could be somewhere alone. And when they call on my name, they're invoking the spirit energy of Omaka in me. And when they call on my quote unquote last name, they're calling not on an actual name, but they're calling on my tribal name. And from my tribal name in which they are calling on, they are now summoning the spirit. So I can be the spirits of my people. And so I can be somewhere by myself and still have my army, the army of my tribe with me, fighting with me right there in the battle, in the heat of a battle, without having them being there. Without having them being there. So they're calling on the energy. When they call on my tribal name, they're not calling each tribal member individually, because to do that, you would be calling them by their first name, their spirit name. But they're calling on the family, the whole tribe. And all of that energy is coming with me. So I can be on the battlefield by myself, but when they call out my name, they're calling on spirit. And then when they call out my tribe name, because it's connected to my first name, they're calling out hundreds of, maybe even thousands of people that stand behind me, stand with me in a time of battle. So I don't never have to worry about being alone, because I know I'm with people that are battling with me. You understand? So let that be known. Let that resonate. When they call on you, let them call on your tribal energy, because they're pulling a force with you. They're pulling a force with you, a magnetic force that is drawn to you when they call on you. When they call on you, they're pulling the magnetic force with you, because that magnetic force is drawn to you. Everywhere you go, they're drawn to you. They're worrying about where you're at. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know all of that. They want to know when you're coming home. They want for your safe return. So whenever you go, they are keeping energy out there towards you, for you. Let that be known. Let that be known, that your energy that they call on is not just you alone. They're calling on your tribe. So when they call on Omaka, they're calling on the Ghadbody gang that's coming with it. They're calling on the Ghadbody gang that comes with that. You understand? When they call on Omaka, they're not just calling on Omaka. They're calling on the Ghadbody gang. They're calling on Ghadbody tribe. They're calling on the Ghadbody culture, the people. They're calling on the people that rock with me and believe in that with me. So, our natural religion is nature. Because this is the true longevity. When you study East and West African tribes, when you study Central and South American tribes, longevity has always been in the midst of, in the fields of those tribes, because they understand what to practice as a belief system. You also have, that, your natural religion. You have your tribe name that you're representing. You have your natural religion. You have your lifestyle. Okay? And you have your name. You have your lifestyle and you have your name. Your name is attached to your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is attached to your name. You live what you are. You're a natural being. Practice that. For anybody that wants a spiritual name, I've been giving out spiritual names for 2 years. I can help you gain a spiritual name. I've been giving out spiritual names for 2 years, and the spiritual names I give out are powerful invoking energy. Okay? Powerful invoking energy when they call on your name. And when I give out spiritual names, it has powerful meanings to it. I've given out names over the years that were powerful names. I've seen a few of my old members. Well, I won't say old members. Members of my old tribe. My members, of my old tribe, the Traveling Light tribe. But we're the Ghadbody tribe now. We're the Ghadbody tribe. We're the Ghadbody beings. Because we inhabit the spirit of our ancestors, the spirit of truth, and we also inhabit the spirit of power, so that when you call on this Ghadbody, you are calling on a force of people that stand with me, that stand in that truth, that stand with that as their belief as well. It's powerful when you begin to believe in yourself as the one and only true living God. It's powerful what you can do. It's powerful who comes with you, even though you're alone. It's powerful who comes with you. With all of that being said, governments don't work. Tribes do. Because tribes have loyalty, and they have commitment, and they have a lifestyle that they will be willing, that they are willing to die for. That they are willing to die for. They have loyalty, they have commitment, and they have a lifestyle that they are willing to die for. Willing. Okay? I love you. I love me. I love us. I'm getting tired now. As you can see, my eyes are... I'll see you on the other side. Don't forget to donate to the Cash App. I love you. I love me. I love us. Be well. Be loved. Be powerful light beings, beloved. And always remember to live from the soul. Always remember to live from the soul. Because I want to be able to call on your soul when I call on your name. So if you want a spirit name, holler at me. I got you. All right? Peace.